Yeah, this time next week, 12th of October, as you all know, it's all going to change. Whether you're from EU or not EU, we're going to tell you what's going to change and what's going to happen and what you've got to be prepared for. So yeah, as you know, the EES, the exit entry system, and it's going to be on since now all the way up to April, and you may get your passport stamped or you may not, but after April, that is the probation, the trial period finished. There'll be no more passports, it'll all be in the system. So we're going to tell you what actually happens when you get to the airport if you're not from the EU. So literally, as soon as you get into one of these airports now, they've all got these booths. You'll be directed into a booth. You'll go in there, you will slide your passport into the booth. It will analyze your passport, and then once it's finished, it will tell you that press to take a photo, and then it will take a photo of you. So then it will scan as you're up and down, the old lights will flash. So yeah, serious face of course, not allowed to smile for these serious passports. And then if all going well, the picture, yeah, it's took a nice tick. You've passed that stage, and then the next stage, it'll be asking you to use your 4 fingers and place it onto the scanner, so it can actually scan your fingers, your fingerprints, and then it will whiz up and down, and if that's okay, it will say, yep, complete. So there we go, successful. So you've put your passport in the reader, it's been scanned, then it comes up to the photograph, scans that, successful. You think that is it? Oh no, this is where the questions begin. And as you know, with the Schengen rules, as we're not in the EU, it's all changed now. It's going to start asking you some questions like, have you got a return ticket? And then you have to put, of course you would have to say yes, because if you don't, you're probably more likely to get pulled up, because once all these questions are going to be asking you and you completed the questions, you're going to be directed to border control. Of course, this is during the first 6 months of this well, probation period, I suppose, so it all goes through. And so the question is, yes, you have a return ticket. Then it's going to ask you if you've got medical cover, and if you're in England, of course, and you're part of this special agreement we have with Spain and the European countries. Of course, we have the medical card, which does cover you when you're on holiday. Of course, some people might have special insurance, holiday insurance, but yeah, the answer would be yes, because if you're from England, you're going to be having this card that does cover you for emergencies if you do, unfortunately, something happens. So then the next question is going to be more tricky for you, because it's going to say, do you have somewhere to stay? And the same again, they're asking yes or no, and also the proof. So once you've done all them questions in the booth, it's all completed, you'll be directed to border control, and then you may be asked further more questions, especially if they've answered the questions correct. So yeah, that is what's going to be happening if you are from the non-EU, which of course is going to be Canada, America, Britain, as you know. The old word Brexit caused all this. Next tricky bit, of course, if you don't answer yes, you have proof of accommodation or proof or return ticket, because it gives you options, yes, no, or don't know. So if you don't press yes, then you will be questioned at the border control. And of course they will be asking you whether you have sufficient needs to cover your trip. Once that's all done, of course, you'll get all your paper, all your certificates. Of course, you're going to have all your proof of your holiday insurance, all your accommodation, return ticket. Then you'll go through the e-gates, and then you're of course going to be stamped still. You're still going to be stamped at the border, so you're not quite finished yet until you get past the border, and that is going to be for the first 6 months you're going to be stamped. So yeah, a lot of red tape. But of course, the one everyone's asking, what happens if you are in the EU? Is this still going to happen? No, you haven't got nothing to worry about if you are in the EU, because obviously we've already got it. Even me, we've got the special TIE, which has all the information on me fingerprints, me photograph and everything. And most of these European countries, or shall I say all these European countries, all have the same card. So for the EU, it's not a problem. It's only if you are outside the EU that is where you've got all this malarkey for the first 6 months. After that, it's all going to be there on the system, and you might get double checked because of the red tape, and you'll just get pulled up once you go through the e-gates at the border control, and you might get pulled for some further questions. So that is what's going to be happening this time next week, coming into these European airports. So be prepared. You're probably going to have long queues for these booths, and you've got to make sure you've got all your docs, make sure you've got that return travel information and your accommodation, and of course your return ticket, as long as it's not a one-way ticket, because you've got to answer all them questions, and then it gets printed out. You better pay the certificate from the machine just before you go through to the border control. So that is today's little video. Let us know what you think of all this red tape that's going on around the world. So it's hasta luego from Torrevieja, and let us know what you think about all this red tape in the comments below. And if you haven't seen the other videos, I'll post them just up there